Hey guys, it's Cameron, and in this video, I want to go through with you the mistakes that you're currently making that is costing you the dream ideal tech roles that you're going for. Now, without knowing what these mistakes are, they're only most likely to repeat over and over again, which is going to be causing more rejections, more ghostings, and not hearing back from recruiters and companies as well. So let's actually kind of break this down. Now, if this is the first time that you're coming across me, then why listen to me? Well, I became an Apple engineer at the ages of 21 while still in university with minimal experience, and I was on £94,000 a year. I was also one of the top 1% of earners, and I still currently am to this day in the UK, and I have proven systems to basically land anybody in tech, which is something that most people do not have. And this is with regards to no background in tech, no experience, basic technical skill set, and everything like that as well. And it's for all of the niches. I don't just do my niche, which is cybersecurity, but I help other people break into data science, networking, software engineering, you name it, I help with it as well. Now, I know these are just statements, so let's actually back it up with some evidence and some hard proof. So here's the actual merch that I got given when I actually joined Apple. As you can see, I've got some AirPods, I've got some flasks, I've got an Apple backpack there as well, and some nice other cool things like a keychain and whatnot. Alongside this is me with my team with Apple merch as well. And then this is also the offer email I got from Apple as well when I actually joined. Now that the proof's out of the way, let's actually break down the mistakes that is currently causing you to not land the offers that you're looking for in tech. Now, the first part is going to be having a casual approach. Now, when it comes into tech, I'm sure as you've seen online or just in the job markets in general, it is incredibly oversaturated, it's incredibly competitive. And this essentially means that any sort of roles out there, they have way too many people applying to them, and you're basically just one small fish in a giant net, and you just kind of have to make your way to actually finding one of those roles. Now, it's not actually like that once you actually know what you're doing, right? I don't feel like that anymore now that I understand how to be hired, same as with my students as well. But when you're first starting off, that's exactly how I felt, and that may be how you're feeling right now. But having a casual approach is something that doesn't correlate to the amount of competition that there is out there, right? So if you're doing things like applying here and there, you have no sense of urgency. You're thinking it all comes down to things like hope and luck and just kind of wishful thinking, or just like, oh, I'll get there in the end, something like that, and just really overall having no kind of commitment to the process, then this is all what's going to yield you no results. And the reason for that is because, well, as I mentioned, it's incredibly competitive. You do need some level of guidance or mentorship or proven systems at the very least, so you can actually start getting those interviews and offers as well. Because if you take a casual approach, you'll typically be saying things like, "Oh, cool, I've got an interview. I've applied to 100 applications and job postings. I've now gotten one interview. Cool, I'll prepare for it later. Go back to watching Netflix or scrolling on TikTok. Or I'll apply more tomorrow. I've done a few today, I'll do some more tomorrow. Or just spending 20 minutes just preparing, and that's really as much preparation as you do. Now, if that is the case, then that's actually going to be the incorrect approach. Instead, you want to act with urgency. You want to make sure that you are applying as much as possible. You do have some level of proven systems there, and you are operating with full commitment to the process, because the amount of effort and urgency that you put in, the output will be the same as well. And I'll give you a clear example. When I was going for the Apple internship position at the ages of 21, I had, multiple different interview stages on the go. It was very stressful, but it was a very urgent process as well. Like, one day I would have this interview, the next day I would have this interview for a different company, and then this one I had like the final stages or something. And one of them was Apple. And I had to go through with this sense of urgency, with this level of commitment to the process. And I was spending basically almost every waking hour just preparing for each and every process that I had. And the reason for that is because I knew that the results would yield and pay off in the end. And if I was to have a casual approach and go, oh, cool, I've got some Apple internship interviews coming up, let me just research a bit about the Apple products and that'll be enough, then I wouldn't have ever got it. And that's like a genuine fact. Like, I would have never got it. I would have never gotten any of the other roles as well. And that's why it's important to actually call this out as a potential mistake that you're making, because without it, you're not going to know how to actually land those roles, because you're continuously going to keep staying stuck in this casual approach. Now, another one is also going to be limiting beliefs. Now, You may potentially feel like, you need more experience, you need to be an expert in your field, you need a degree, or you need more projects, or you're just not ready to apply yet. Any of these things, these are what is known as a limiting belief. These are things that are actually stripping you away from your potential and holding you back than actually landing the roles that you're looking for. This way of thinking is incorrect. And as someone at the top of the field, an expert in this field, right, ex-Apple engineer in my early 20s, I'll tell you as a fact that you don't actually need any of these. You don't need previous experience. You don't need to spend 6 months building out a massive project with, no kind of deliverables at the end of it or any substantial value. Any of these things that you're focusing on, although it feels like you're making progress, you're actually hindering yourself from the opportunities that you're missing today. Now, this only actually leads to endless learning, right? Because let's say that you're learning your technical skill set over and over and over again. Yeah, sure, you are developing it. But if you're not getting the interviews, then you can't even showcase that to begin with. You're also getting no tangible results as well, because if you were, you'd be landing interviews and offers. And, chances are that's not the case. You're effectively wasting time in this case. And the reason why I say that is because when you are developing your technical skill set, it's important, like for roles and stuff, sure, and for showcasing in technical interviews, for answering their questions. But that's not the only thing that's the actual problem, right? You can learn your technical skill set for the rest of time. You could do it for 5 years straight. It doesn't mean you're going to land interviews and offers after that time period. And that's actually what I see majority of candidates have. I speak to hundreds of candidates every single week. I'm hopping on calls with them, trying to help them out, discuss the coaching and everything like that. And the amount of times I've heard candidates say that I just need to develop my technical knowledge more, that kind of stuff. And I see that they're focusing all on the wrong areas, right? They're focusing on, part one of breaking into tech, which is the technical knowledge and development, but not part two, which is actually being hired for those roles. You'd be surprised at how quickly you can land roles, even without a degree, previous experience, or even really that much technical knowledge. And it's kind of like a continuous loop and trap that I see a lot of candidates get stuck in, because any single time that they get a rejection, they get a ghosting, a recruiter doesn't message them back, or they don't hear back from a company, the natural gravitation towards, oh, it just must be my technical skill set. Let me do more projects, let me do more coding, more leak code, and all of these things. When actually that's not the problem, it's about how to actually be hired. Now ask yourself this, why focus on technical skill sets when you can just focus on being hired? Right? Because that's where the results are. The results are actually in being hired, not developing your technical skill sets. You could have the best technical skill set ever. It doesn't mean you're going to be hired, because there's plenty of other situations and concepts and topics that you need to focus on other than your technical skill sets to actually be hired. And every single time that you're focusing on your technical skill sets and not actually being hired, you're missing opportunities in the market, because somebody else is taking those opportunities away from you whilst you're focusing on this technical skill set with no end in sight. Now, if you're actually missing something, right, I'll tell you what you're missing. You're missing having the right knowledge of part two, so actually being able to be hired, what companies look for, reflecting value back to them, having the right marketing, having the right USPs and perception, and proven systems, alongside also having a level of guidance there as well to keep you on track. Now, the guidance thing is something that I want to bring light to, because when I say, or when I ask, a lot of candidates, I say, do you have some level of guidance from like a mentor or expert in the field? And they'll say, yeah, I do. And I'm like, okay, cool, great. What kind of mentor or guidance do you have? And they say, well, I actually I find people on LinkedIn and I message them, I cold message them, and I ask them to review my CV. Now, when I say guidance, that's not what I mean. That is like, that's just asking for like a handout or some basic level of advice, essentially. That's not what I consider to be guidance. Guidance is having a dedicated mentor or expert that you can go to at really any time of the day, ask them questions, ask them for advice, ask them for guidance. They have a clear roadmap and path for you, and they're actually spending their own time to invest into you to get you the best results possible. Now, that's what I consider as guidance. So you're missing those three things. You're missing knowledge, proven systems, and guidance. Nothing got to do with technical knowledge and skill set. Now, these are actually what is going to generate you offers, right? And if you're focusing on the wrong things, then they're not going to be generating you offers. They're going to be generating other candidates' offers that are actually your competition. And you'll be missing out on opportunities every single day based on these limiting beliefs and mindsets. Now, what I'll do is I'll put a link in the top of the description where you can actually book in a call with me so we can discuss your current situation and how I can help you further, and we can discuss potential coaching there to get you the right guidance, the right knowledge, and the right proven systems in place. So make sure you can book in one with me for that. But this is ultimately what you're missing. You're having the limiting beliefs and you're not having the right mindset when it comes to things like urgency and commitment to the process as well. Now, if you found this important, then drop me a comment down below saying which part of the video you found most important, and make sure that you book in that call with me. And overall, let's actually get you starting to land these ideal tech roles that you're looking for without focusing on all of the wrong things as well. Now, I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you then.